आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की पुरुषोत्तम श्री जगन्नाथ धाम की देवी की श्री गोपाल नाम संकीर्तन की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की glory to the assembled devotees, glory to the assembled devotees, glory to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहना रघुनाथान्वितं तमसुप्रियम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणासिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanande Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasadami Nirvani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My humble obeisances to all the devotees. Experiencing some value. We have been the most lucky once again. Third time, 2023 onward, I have been coming here. First program in Prabhu's home. First ever program in ASP Prabhu's home. So we discussed that in these 3 days, today, tomorrow, day after, right? Monday, Tuesday, we'll be discussing the 8 shlokas of Shikshashtakam, Sri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. How many of you are familiar with Shikshashtakam? Everybody, or is there anyone who is not yet familiar with Shikshashtakam, Chaitanya Shikshashtakam? Okay, at least reciting every day in the morning. Okay, fine. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not personally write so many books. He definitely inspired so many authors like Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, but he personally did not write books. Personally, he has gifted us his 8 shlokas of Shikshashtakam. And these 8 shlokas of Chaitanya Shikshashtakam contain the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. Whether you are very familiar with Shikshashtakam or not, definitely, if you just attend these 3 sessions, you will develop deep appreciation for Shikshashtakam. Don't worry if you don't have a background, and don't worry if you already know it. You can always revise. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the essence of the entire Vedic philosophy in these 8 shlokas of Shikshashtakam. As Mahaprabhu himself says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the entire Vedic philosophy can be summarized in 3 words. Anyone knows what are the 3 words? 3 words. Same. Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Sambandha means our relationship with Krishna. Abhideya means the process of reviving that relationship, which is Bhakti Yoga, Sravanam Kirtanam Smaranam. Prayojana means the result of reviving that relationship, a result of Bhakti Yoga, which is Krishna Prema. Right? Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. If you don't have notes, pen and paper, try. At least on your phone, we can try to make some notes. We are going to discuss so many points. If you find it exhaustive, I can switch to it. So it will be beneficial because Chaitanya Shikshashtakam is very, very systematic scripture, systematic song. Hare Krishna. It's very systematic bhajan. It's not like expression of only emotions, but it also describes a lot of philosophy. Right? So, as we know, bhakti has 2 phases. One is sadhana phase, second is sadhya phase. What is sadhana phase? The phase of practice. What is sadhya phase? The stage of perfection. So Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, this song, describes both the practice stage and perfection stage. The first 5 shlokas of Chaitanya Shikshashtakam describe the practice stage, sadhana stage. The last 3 shlokas of Shikshashtakam describe sadhya stage, perfection stage. When you perfect your bhakti, what are the symptoms of such perfection? You know that? Bhava and prema. Bhava means developing an emotional bonding with the Lord. Prema means falling in complete love with the Lord. But in sadhana stage, you don't have deep emotional love for the Lord. Therefore, it's a practice stage. Right? Sadhana bhakti is a stage of practice where you engage your senses in the Lord's service. That is sadhana. But sadhya means there is bhava and prema. There is emotional bonding and there is deep love. So the first 5 shlokas of Shikshashtakam describe sadhana. Last 3 sadhya. That includes bhava and prema. Clear? And we also discussed that entire Vedic philosophy can be summarized in 3 words: sambandha, prayojan. So the first 5 shlokas of Shikshashtakam describe sambandha jnana. What is our relationship with Krishna? If you know the 5th shloka, Ainanda Tanujaginkaram, right? Our connection with Krishna is that we are servants of Krishna. That is described. So the first 5 shlokas culminate with a declaration that we are all eternal servants of Krishna. So the first 5 shlokas describe sambandha jnana. Clear? Now last 3 shlokas describe prayojan, prema stage, or bhava and prema stage. Entire Shikshashtakam, all the 8 shlokas describe abhideya, the process of. So, is it clear? We discussed Chaitanya Shikshashtakam from 2 perspectives: sadhana sadhya perspective, sambandha abhideya prayojan perspective. Clear? Getting too technical? This will be technical. Yes.
That's a question. You said the entire Shikshashtakam is abhideya?
Huh?
Entire Shikshashtakam?
Entire Shikshashtakam is abhideya, the process.
Correct.
Because bhava and prema are also part of process. Although that's a prayojan, but it culminates with developing that prema. So this is like a quick overview of Shikshashtakam. Now let's go step by step. Let's begin with the first shloka. Now one more thing. The explanation that I'm going to give in the next 3 days on Shikshashtakam is based on Sanmodana Bhashya written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. The great Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya named Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He has written a Bhashya, a commentary named Sanmodana, that which gives so much of bliss to you. That commentary explains this finer nuances of Shikshashtakam and all the shlokas very nicely. Apart from Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Sanmodana Bhashya, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives another explanation called his Vritti commentary. And apart from that, Srila Prabhupada also quotes Shikshashtakam shlokas in multiple purports that he has written. So what I'm going to discuss is a combination of what Bhakti Vinod Thakur taught, what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur taught, and what Srila Prabhupada also taught. It's some additional practical application points. I just give a prelude now. Let's begin with the first shloka. This I all of you know. Cheto darpanam So this one shloka describes 7 effects of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Right? Very systematic. Please be very attentive. There will be quiz at the end. Right? 7 effects of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. What is Sri Krishna Sankirtanam? What do you mean by Sri Krishna Sankirtanam? Kirti means glory. Isn't it? Kirti means glory. Kirtan means the process of glorifying, the act of glorifying somebody. Kirtanam means to glorify somebody. Whom are you glorifying? Krishna. In this context. So Kirtanam is glorifying. What is Sankirtanam? Sankirtanam means coming together and glorifying together. All of us come together and glorify the Lord, praise the Lord. Right? Or Sankirtanam can also mean Sampurna Kirtanam, means it has to be very perfect, complete glorification of the Lord. Right? Or it's done with a very pure intent, pure consciousness. That is called Sankirtanam. Sankirtanam, at one level, it is congregationally glorifying the Lord. At another level, it is like perfectly, nicely, sincerely glorifying the Lord. That is Sankirtanam. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, which is the last phrase of this shloka. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam means the process of glorifying Lord Sri Krishna. Clear? And generally we think that Kirtan means with a harmonium, with a kartal, with a mridanga, we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Which is correct. That is Kirtan. But Kirtan, that is called Nama Kirtanam specifically. But this Sri Krishna Sankirtanam does not refer only to Nama Kirtanam. Krishna has multiple attributes. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Nam means Krishna's name. Rupa means Krishna's form. The beautiful form of Krishna. Paintings displayed everywhere. Right from childhood till he is little grown up. So Krishna's form is so enchanting. That is Rupa Kirtanam. If you glorify Krishna's form, that is Rupa Kirtanam. There are so many beautiful shlokas in Srimad Bhagavatam that glorify Krishna's Rupa. Thank you for listening of that song. Nama Rupa. Third is Guna. Guna means qualities. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami describes 64 qualities of Krishna, and he says there are 64 prominent qualities. Krishna has unlimited qualities. Right? If you glorify Krishna's qualities, it is called Guna Kirtanam. Then last is Leela. Leela means Krishna's pastimes. If you glorify Krishna's pastimes, here you see Mrada Bhakshana Leela. That's Utthana ceremony. This is Damodar Leela. And this is, correct. This is Damodar Leela. Yes, this Swallowing Forest tribe. So if you just glorify these Leelas, these pastimes, it's called Leela Kirtanam. So Sri Krishna Kirtanam or Sankirtanam refers to Nama Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, Rupa Kirtan, Leela Kirtan, all four. Right? So that is Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam means glorifying Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela. Clear? Now we glorify Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela with mouth only? No, not necessary. You can glorify the Lord with your words, with your mind, with your actions also. When you are glorifying the Lord, it need not be verbal only. It can be mental also. Within your mind also you can glorify Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela. With your body also you can glorify Nama Rupa Guna Leela of Krishna. How? When you are engaging your body in Krishna's service, you are actually glorifying Him. Right? You are acknowledging His glory. You are expanding His glory. Right? So, in short, this last phrase, Sri Krishna Sankirtana, means glorifying Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela with your body, mind, and words. Clear? This is the complete definition of Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Glorifying Krishna's Nama, name, Rupa, form, Guna, qualities, Leela, pastimes, with your body, with your mind, and with your words. That is called Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Clear? Now, this Sri Krishna Sankirtana process has 7 benefits. And these 7 benefits are described in this shloka. First benefit, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Cheta means consciousness, right? Darpana means mirror. Marjana means clean. Here, heart is compared to a mirror. And if you nicely perform Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, that Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will clean the mirror of your heart. Why mirror is mentioned here? If there is some dirt on the mirror, you can't see a reflection properly. Right? If the mirror is very clear, you can see your reflection very clearly. If there is some thin layer of dust, you will see your reflection very faintly. If there is thick layer of dust, you can't see your reflection properly. Right? Depending on the thickness of the dust layer. Similarly, our heart also, our consciousness also, when it is covered with the dirt of lust, dirt of envy, dirt of pride, dirt of illusion, then the real consciousness of the soul, which is Krishna consciousness, is not manifest. So in a heart which is completely freed from any envy, pride, lust, greed, etc., love for Krishna is nicely manifest. Right? But when the heart is covered with different thick layers of dust, then that love for Krishna is not manifest. You know, after Narasimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, you know what he did? he ripped apart the chest of Hiranyakashipu. Initially, he ripped apart the abdomen and pulled out the intestines and wore them like garland. Later, he ripped apart the chest and pulled out the heart and examined that heart. This is a place where I am supposed to stay. This is my place. This is my throne. This is my seat. Why did this fellow keep lust and envy and pride in this place? And he took the heart. So our heart is meant for Krishna to reside. Our consciousness or our emotions are meant to be directed towards Krishna. But if this consciousness or heart are covered with so many material layers of so much of dirt, so much of dust, then the clear Krishna consciousness is not manifest. And the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam cleans that dust from the mirror of the heart. What exactly is the dust here? I just said in a generic way, I said anarthas, plus any criteria. But Thakur very beautifully describes the dust is specifically of three types. There is three types of dust on the mirror of our heart. You know what are they? Number one, Anyabhilasha. Number two, Bhoga. Number three, Tyaga. Thinking too much? This is systematic. Anyabhilasha means desire. Anyabhilasha means any desire other than serving Krishna. Desires that are disconnected from bhakti is called Anyabhilasha. That Anyabhilasha, desires that are not favorable for bhakti, is one type of dust on the heart. Right? Second, Bhoga means desire for Bhoga. Bhoga means not what we offer the Lord. Bhoga refers to material enjoyment. Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Pasatasam. That Bhoga we are talking. So Bhoga means desire for high grade sense enjoyment. Right? That is Bhoga. Third is Tyaga. Tyaga is renunciation or Vairagya. Why Tyaga is also lust? Can anyone say? Bhoga is definitely dirt. Anyabhilash is definitely dirt. How come this Tyaga or Vairagya or detachment or renunciation also is compared to the dirt on the mirror of the heart? Yes, true.
Like Sudama?
Huh?
Like Sudama?
Oh, Sudama was too attached to his detachment.
Actually, nothing belongs to us, everything belongs to Krishna. Whatever we renounce is wrong.
Yes. Yes, that's one perspective. Anything else? Yeah.
If you're too attached, Krishna says you perform karma yoga. If you're too renounced, you perform jnana yoga. And so in bhakti, you have to be like not too renounced, not too detached, like not too attached.
Okay. Yes.
You might feel a sense of pride that I'm like
I'm so renounced.
yes, and
Yes.
I'm so detached that Krishna must have some connection with me, but it might not be that.
Sometimes people can be proud of their detachment also. So detachment is definitely favorable to bhakti if it is within certain limits and if it's a devotional attachment. But sometimes the detachment may cross certain limits and it becomes an obsession. One becomes too attached to one's detachment. Actually, there are 4 types of detachment, 4 types of vairagya. Number 1, smashana vairagya means you go to a crematorium, you see a dead body being burned, you understand this, oh, this man is so accomplished. He achieved so many things in life. Ultimately, his body is being burned. So one day my body also will be burned. And you become detached. But as soon as you come out of that smashana, crematorium, then you will be detached from the detached feelings. Right? As soon as you take a bath, all the detachment is also gone. There is a temporary renunciation, smashana vairagya. Then second is markata vairagya. Markata vairagya means monkey renunciation. The monkey is so detached. Monkey stays in the forest. Monkey does not have a home. Monkey does not have clothes also. Monkey is a vegetarian. Monkey is very simple food. But monkey has sense gratification throughout the day. So apparently somebody is detached, but internally there is a lot of attachment. That is called Bhaktana Vairagya. Second type. Third type, Falgu Vairagya. What is Falgu Vairagya? Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunah mumukshubhir parityago vairagyam falgu kathyate. Means prapanchikataya buddhya, thinking that these objects are all material, you will become detached from them, although there is a possibility of engaging those material objects in Krishna service. For example, there is a flower. Flower is material. It is material element, right? Thinking that it's matter, let me stay away. That is called Kalduvairagya. But if you can use this flower nicely in Krishna's service, you can offer this flower to Krishna, you can come closer to Krishna. As Krishna said, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Parichyati. So, but instead of using that material elements in Krishna's seva, if you just stay away from that matter, thinking that it's matter, it is called Kalduvairagya. Definitely, you should stay away from material enjoyment as much as possible. But if there's a possibility of utilizing some material things in Krishna's service, don't be detached from them. Why should we be detached from them? Right? So that kind of useless renunciation. That is called useless renunciation. How many varieties we discussed? Three. What is first one? Smashana Vairagya. Markata Vairagya. Phalgu Vairagya. Fourth is Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya means the ability to engage everything in Krishna's seva. Right? So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Anyabhilasha, Bhoga, Tyaga are the covering of dust on one's heart, he meant this first three types of renunciation. The Tyaga is this Phalgu Vairagya and Markata Vairagya and Smashana Vairagya. You should not have this kind of dry renunciation. Sometimes this dry renunciation are unnecessary, useless, temporary, artificial renunciation could make one's heart very hard. Right? But we need to have reasonable amount of detachment, reasonable style of detachment, instead of having fanatic kind of detachment. Clear? So we are discussing 7 benefits of Sri Krishna Sankirtan. The first benefit is, what is that? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Means Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will clean that dust from the mirror of our hearts. And what is the dust? 3 types of dust. What are they? Anyabhilasha, Bhoga, and Tyaga. Clear? Shall we go to the second one? Today we will try to cover 2 shlokas. Tomorrow 2. Last day, let's fast forward and then complete 4. Because we have to discuss sadhana bhakti more, not sadhya bhakti. So some of you may be on the level of sadhya, but most of us are in sadhana bhakti, right? Let's discuss first 10 shlokas more deeply. No. We have discussed only one aspect. Go back. Go to the first shloka, please. Yeah. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. That is first effect only. What is second effect? Bhava Mahadavati Nirvapana. Bhava means this material existence. Mahadavagni means great forest fire. Agni means fire. Davagni means forest fire. Mahadavagni means very fierce forest fire. Dangerous forest fire. Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapana. So when you do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, when you glorify Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela with your body, mind and words, that will extinguish the forest fire of material existence. Clear? Now what is the nature of this fire? Again 3 points. Right? That's why I said take notes, otherwise we may lose track of all these things. So 3 things. Very easy to remember. Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika kleshas. All of us know this. So these 3 kleshas, Adhyatmika klesha means the miseries caused by body and mind. Adi Bhautika kleshas means miseries caused by other living entities. Mosquitoes are biting, something like that. Then Adi Devika klesha means natural calamities. Too much of heat, too much of cold, too much of rain, all that. So these are the 3 types of miseries. Right? So these 3 types of miseries are compared to the fire, the blazing fire of material existence. When we take shelter of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, this blazing fire of material existence will be mitigated. Means will be relieved from tapatrayas, relieved from the 3-fold material miseries. That's the meaning. Let me just quote one shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma projita kaita votra paramo nirvatsaranam sataham Vidyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatraya unmulanam. Srimad Bhagavatam is described as that literature that can destroy your 3 types of material miseries. Right? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but Sri Krishna Sankirtan. Bhagavatam Bhagavatam is nothing but Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Bhagavatam has description of Krishna's Nama Rupa Pandalila. And that will destroy your three types of material miseries, means extinguish the forest fire of material existence. Now, how can a book destroy three miseries? If I do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, will I not get fever or cold? If I do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam or take shelter of Bhagavatam, will the mosquitoes not bite me? Will I not be affected by too much heat or cold? That's not the message there. If I do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, if I take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, I will get the necessary ability to tolerate them, to see them from proper perspective, to see misery as mercy. Ultimately, whenever we are experiencing some misery, it is not happening randomly. There is some background. I have done some mistake in the past, maybe in this life or in the past life. The misery, the mistakes that we have done in the past, the misdeeds that we have done in the past, will come as misery in the present, right? And the Lord is arranging those miseries in our lives so that we'll be purified of those sinful reactions and we'll be ready to go back to God once the purification is over. So when we take shelter of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, we get this kind of perspective, a mature perspective of the miseries of this world. An ordinary living entity also undergoes difficulties. A devotee also undergoes difficulties. But what's the difference? A devotee, and when a devotee faces difficulties, the devotee doesn't get frustrated. The devotee doesn't get overwhelmed. Devotee understands that, oh, it's a result of my past misdeeds. Let me experience this. Let me be purified. And let me not commit more mistakes. So that is the understanding of a devotee. But a conditioned soul gets frustrated, depressed, demotivated, discouraged, and they may even commit suicide also. Right? So these are like differences between the miseries experienced by devotees and the materialistic. Anyways, the second effect of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapana. When we sincerely take shelter of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, the forest fire of the blazing fire of material existence is extinguished. Now, from an ultimate perspective, extinguishing of blazing fire of material existence basically means Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will take us from the material world to the spiritual world. Then we will be unaffected by this material existence, right? And the material world, there are material miseries. But what is the way to avoid material miseries? Go to a place where they don't exist. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will take us to the spiritual world. Then we don't have to experience this material miseries at all. Right? That's what Sri Krishna Sankirtanam does to us. Right? Okay, while we are living in this world also, in the midst of this blazing fire, we will not be affected by it. It's like you go to a place where there's COVID virus, but you use sanitizer, you use these masks and aprons, you protect yourself, right? You will not be affected by it. Similarly, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is like the mask and sanitizer for us to be unaffected, to remain unaffected by the virus around us. That is the second effect. Third, Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitaran. First effect is Cheto Darpana Marjan. Second, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapana. Third, Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitaran. Shreyaha means auspiciousness. Kairava means a water lily that specially blooms in the night. Right? Chandrika means the moon rays. Right? Vitaranam. So, just like when the rays of moon fall on a night lily, water lily, this water lily blooms. Some flowers bloom because of sunlight, but some flowers blossom because of moonlight. Right? So, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam acts like that moonlight that helps us blossom the lily of our consciousness. Right? Here, our consciousness, our heart is compared to this water lily, and Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is like that moonshine. Just like moonshine makes a water lily blossom nicely, similarly, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will also help our heart, help our consciousness grow nicely, right? Develop nicely. There are 5 levels of consciousness, you know that? 5 levels of consciousness. The basic level is Avrita Chetana, means covered consciousness. For example, in the case of plants, their consciousness is covered. You go and pluck a leaf or a flower or a fruit or cut a branch also, the tree will not scream with pain. The tree will not bleed. The tree will not even die also. The tree will not even experience that pain because the consciousness is covered. Yes, they are alive, but the consciousness is not so developed to even experience that pain. There are no nerves and bones and blood going on there. So, covered consciousness. First is Avrita Chetana, which is called covered consciousness, which is seen in plants and trees. Then little advanced, one step ahead of that is Sankuchita Chetana. Sankuchita means shrunken consciousness. Consciousness is existing, but it is not so covered like in plants, but it is not so developed also like in human beings. There is middle, there is in animals. Animals, they don't have completely covered consciousness and they don't have great developed consciousness also. They are somewhere in between. That is called Sankuchita Chetana or shrunken consciousness. Yes, they may experience a lot of physical pain, but they may not have so much of intelligence or emotions. They have some emotions. Animals also, they have some emotional attachment to their kids and all, is there, but it's not so developed like human beings. This is called Sankuchita, shrunken consciousness. Third level is Mukhlita Chetana, means developed consciousness, little more developed consciousness, that is human beings who are not practicing bhakti. Right? Then fourth level is Vikasita Chetana, means blossoming consciousness. Right? So third level is Mukhlita Chetana, means budding. It's like budding consciousness. Right? But fourth level is Vikasita Chetana, it's a blossoming consciousness, which is there in human beings who are more developed, who are practicing bhakti in short. When you are practicing bhakti, your Chetana is like Vikasita Chetana, right? It's blossoming consciousness. So the fifth level of consciousness is Purna Vikasita Chetana, completely blossomed consciousness. This exists in not practicing devotees. You are devotees, perfected devotees. Those who have developed bhava and prema further. Here, 5 levels of consciousness. Now, this Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will bring us to the 5th level of consciousness. Purna Vikasita Chetana. Clear? So, total 3 effects we have seen. First one, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, means cleaning the mirror of our hearts. Second, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, extinguishing the forest fire of material existence, which is referred to this. Third, Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, just like the moon rays help a water lily blossom, similarly Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will help our consciousness develop to Purna Vikasita, help us completely come to the state of completely blossomed consciousness. Right? Fourth, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. Vadhu means a bride. Jivanam means life. A Vadhu means a bride, means newly married girl, considers her husband as Jivan. In the traditional, conventional context. Traditionally, conventionally, a bride considers her husband as life and soul, as Jivanam. Right? Here, actually, that's tradition. Like Rukmani Devi married Krishna, but Rukmani Devi, Krishna is her life and soul. Sita Devi married Lord Ramachandra, but Sita Devi, Ram is her Jivan. Right? So Vadhu, her Vadhu, husband is the Jivan. But here, Vidya Vadhu is mentioned. What is this Vidya Vadhu? Vidya can be of multiple types. Broadly, Vidya is of 2 types. One is Jada Vidya, second is Paravidya, or divine knowledge, transcendental knowledge, and this is mundane material knowledge. Jada Vidya and Paravidya. Okay? So, here Paravidya means spiritual knowledge is compared with the Vadhu. Vidya Vadhu refers to spiritual knowledge, right? The bride of spiritual knowledge. For the bride of spiritual knowledge, Jivanam is Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is like the life and soul of the bride of spiritual knowledge. In short, you know what is the meaning of this? All knowledge must culminate in Sri Krishna Sankirtan. You must have studied all Upanishads and Vedantas and Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all the different kinds of epics you have studied. But all that Vedic study, all that Vidya that you have acquired should bring you to a point where you take shelter of Sri Krishna Sankirtan. You take shelter of the holy names of the Lord and Krishna's Nama Rupa Gunam. That is the purpose of education. All education must culminate in an inspiration to chant Krishna's names, inspiration to glorify Krishna's Nama Rupa Gunam. Otherwise, that Vidya will not take us anywhere. Or otherwise, the Vidya, the material Vidya, will keep us in this material world. Or that Vidya is only giving us some scholarship, giving us some name, fame, prestige, etc., but not actually giving us Krishna. Right? Is it clear? Vidyavadhu Jivana. Kshatrachedaikamantram sakalam upanishadvakya sampurja mantram samsarocheda mantram samuchita tamasaha sangha niryana mantram sarvaishwaryeka mantram vyasana bhujaga sandhashta santrana mantram jihne Sri Krishna mantram japa japa satatam janma safalya mantram. This is a shloka that is glorifying Krishna mantra in various ways. But one point I wanted to mention in this current context of Vidyavadhu Jivana. Shatru Chhedaika mantra means this Krishna mantra can destroy all the enemies of our lust, envy, pride, greed. Right? Second, Sakalam Upanishad Vakya Sampurya Mantram. Sakalam Upanishad means all Upanishads, all the scriptures are Sampurya Mantram. They are doing puja of this mantra, Krishna mantra. What does it mean? All the Vedic scriptures must give us this ultimate understanding that please take shelter of Sri Krishna Sankirtan. Just glorify Krishna's Nama Rupa Gunam. Just remember Krishna's Nama Rupa Gunam. That's the culmination of all the Vedic scriptures, Vidyavadhu Jivana. That's the whole point. Now, you see, Smartavya Hasaratam Vishnu Vismartavyo Najatuchit Sarve Vidhi Nishedhasyur Etayor Eva Kinkaraha. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. These two statements are the essence of all the do's and don'ts, prescriptions and prohibitions of all the Vedic scriptures. Yeah, right? Therefore, Vidyavadhu Jivana means Sri Krishna Sankirtana is the life and soul, or is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. Clear? How many effects we discussed? 4. And fifth effect. Oh. Somebody has the Shikshashtakam book. Very good. This helps us. Fifth is Ananda Buddhi Vardhana. Ananda means happiness, joy, right? Ambudhi means an ocean. Ananda Ambudhi means ocean of joy, ocean of bliss. Vardhana means to increase. The Sri Krishna Sankirtana will expand and increase the ocean of bliss. Right? Because when you are doing Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, you are actually imbibing the mood of being a servant of Krishna. Krishna Dasa Abhimanaye Ananda Sindhu Koti Brahma Sukhana He Tara Eka Bindu. The Abhiman of being a servant of Krishna can merge you into such intense spiritual bliss that in comparison to a drop of that ocean of that bliss of being a servant of Krishna, even an ocean of Brahmananda is useless. Right? So that's what Krishna Sankirtanam can do. That's what Krishna Bhakti can do. Right? That's what an emotion of being a servant of Krishna can do to us. And Anandamati Vardhana means the more you chant Krishna's names, the more you glorify Krishna's pastimes, the more you do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, the more you experience bliss, emotion of bliss, and the bliss continues to expand. Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam Tadeva Shashvan Manaso Mahotsavam Tadeva Shokarnava Soshanam Brunam Yatuttama Shloka Yashodu Giyate Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam. So the glorification of Krishna, as described in our great scriptures, is like Ruchiram, very pleasing, Navam Navam, very, very fresh always. So Anandamudhi Vardhanam, the Sri Krishna Sankirtan will expand our spiritual bliss. will constantly, the spiritual bliss will constantly grow. It will become deep and deep, high and high, right? Stay high forever. That's what Sri Krishna Sankirtan does. Next, sixth effect. The Damodar Leela. We keep discussing Damodar Leela every Kartik. We sing Damodar Shikshashtakam every day in Kartik. And in some temples, morning and evening. 2 times Damodar Shikshashtakam is sung. 60 times that month. But so that will only give joy. We already know the passion, but still again we discuss the passion because it's giving joy, so much of spiritual joy. That's what Sri Krishna Sankirtan does. Sixth effect. Pratipadam Purnamrita Asvadanam. Pratipadam means every step, or it also means every word or every line of a shloka. Pratipadam means at every step. Purna Amrita Asvadanam. Asvadanam means to taste or to relish. What to relish and what to taste? Amrita, nectar. Purna Amrita means complete nectar. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam enables us to taste nectar at every step. To relish Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna at every step is the effect of Sri Krishna Sankirtan. Now you see, let's talk about Rupa. We spoke a little bit about Nama and a little bit of Leela also. Let me speak about Rupa. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami describes all the Dwarkavasis are accustomed to see Krishna's beautiful form every single day. Nityam Niriksha Bhananam Dwarakaukasam Navitrupyanti Hidrishaha Shriyodhamangavachyutam Nityam Niriksha Bhananam. Nityam means every day. Although the Dwarkavasis are accustomed to seeing the beautiful form of Krishna every single day, still they are never satiated, they are never exhausted, they are never bored of seeing Krishna's form. They are always constantly looking forward to seeing Krishna every day. So why? Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. At every step they are experiencing so much of bliss. On the other hand, Padam Padam Yad Vipadam. The material world means at every pada, every step there is a danger. Or between steps also there is danger. Between steps, at every step there is some danger in the material world. But in the spiritual realm of glorifying Sri Krishna Sankirtana, of doing Sri Krishna Sankirtana, there is bliss at every step. And there is bliss between steps also. Right? There is Pratipadam Purna Amrita Asada. Experience that nectar. Nectar. This Amrita refers to, Amrita reminds me of the first kind of Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpatarorgalitam phalam sukamukhadamritadrava samritam pipata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the desire tree of all scriptures. Galitam phalam. Sukamukhad amritadrava samritam. Because Sukadeva Goswami spoke that Bhagavatam. Because the sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam or the description of Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela emanated from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami, it has become Amrita Drava, nectarian beverage. Vibhata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. Just drink that nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. Muhura Horasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. Muhu means constantly, repeatedly keep drinking this nectar, right? Then you can taste nectar at every step. Some people may say, I'm not finding taste in chanting the beginning. What am I supposed to do? Chant. I'm not finding taste in chant. I am not finding interest in reading Bhagavatam or reading Bhagavatam. What am I supposed to do? Hear. If you're not finding taste, you hear. If you're not finding taste in chanting, you should constantly chant. Then you will get taste. If you're not finding taste in hearing, you constantly hear, then you'll find some taste. Somebody asked Radha Govind Maharaj, Mala karne mein man nahi lag raha. Maharaj said, नहीं करेंगे तो मन लगेगा क्या? Just because I'm not finding excitement in chanting, will you stop chanting? Will you get excitement or not? You have to chant, then you get excitement. Okay? In the 9 stages of bhakti, Nishtha comes first or Ruchi comes first? Tell me. Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Bhajanakari in that series. First Nishtha, later Ruchi, right? For you to develop Ruchi, first we should come to the state of Nishtha. What is Nishtha? Steadiness. That steadily, consistently, regularly chant Krishna's names, hear Krishna Katha, then we will get some taste. Then all Bhava, Prema, etc. will follow. If you directly aspire for taste, if you are not consistent, when I get taste, I will chant. You will never get taste. First you chant and you will get taste. The process of getting taste is to chant first, or hear first. So without hearing and chanting, how can you get taste? So, but for us to be able to come to the stage of tasting bliss at every step, we need to consistently chant. How many effects we discussed so far? 6. Can you please revise once? Let me complete 7 and I'll ask. With meanings, not the shloka recitation. In many classes, people find it difficult to know the shloka, they know the meaning. But in Shikshashtakam, people know the shloka, they don't know the meaning. Right? Many of them, and many devils know also. Right? So, Chetadaparamajanam, Bhamahadagmiraku. Last is Sarvatma Snapanam. Sarvatma Snapanam. Snapanam means bathing, right? So if you go to South India, in the traditional temples like Balaji temple and Sri Rangam temple, there is Snapana Seva, means bathing ceremony. There is Snapana Mandapam, means there's a big room, not room, it's like then without walls there is some kind of mandapam. I don't know what the equivalent word of mandapam in English, but that is meant for bathing place. So Sarvatma Snapana means this Sri Krishna Sankirtana will completely bathe your soul with bliss. Bathe your soul, bathe your heart with full nectar. Pure spiritual nectar of Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna will completely immerse and drench our souls. That's the greatness of Sri Krishna Sankirtana. So we discussed 7 effects of Sri Krishna Sankirtana in the first sloka. Right? It's a bit technical. There are a lot of layers of understanding here, but it's worth remembering and meditating on this. In the next sloka, we'll discuss some stories. Now, please revise what do you mean by Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Please. Today afternoon, we had the kids' class and we conducted a quiz. I didn't conduct, the kids only conducted. Everybody was conducting. Praja and Aradhya, they were all conducting quiz. She also, Gopika. Yes. What is Sri Krishna Sankirtana?
Naam, Roop, Guna, Leela, Kirtan.
Glorification of Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, with body, mind, and words. This is the full definition of Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Right? What is the first effect? Cleansing of the heart. Right? What is the dirt that has accumulated on the heart? 3 things.
Bhoga, Yaga,
Anyabhilasha Sunyam. Anyabhilasha Bhogatyaga. Now, devotees are making acronyms also. The second effect. English. Extinguishing the forest fire of material existence. So, what is the nature of? What is it? One devotee can understand. Only one devotee. Yes, ma'am.
Through Sankirtanam, our consciousness gets evolved and comes into Purna Avikasita consciousness.
Purna Vikasita Chaitanya. The first meaning is, just as moon rays help a water lily blossom, similarly Sri Krishna Sankirtanam helps our consciousness blossom to Purna Vikasita stage. What are the 5 levels of consciousness? Come on from this side. Yes, please. Sankuchita. Avrita. Then Sankuchita. Mukulita. Vikasita. Purna Vikasita. Now English. Yeah, done. Without showing that, let's have the remaining 5 qualities, 3 qualities. So, Shreya Keva Chandrika Uttanam. Next, fourth effect. Vidyavati Jivanam. What is Vidyavati Jivanam? 1 person. Yes, bro.
So Vidyavati Jivanam, so like one who has like the spiritual knowledge, they have Shri Krishna Sankirtanam as their lifelong soul, their Jivan.
Just like a newly married bride considers her husband as Jivanam, the whole spiritual knowledge has Sri Krishna Sankirtanam as its Jivanam. Right? Next, 5th effect. Anandamudivardhana. Can one person explain what is Anandamudivardhana? Yes, ma'am.
Expands the ocean of spiritual bliss. Krishna Sankirtanam.
Yes. Next, 6th effect. Pratipadam Purnavartasaram. Who can explain? Someone from this side.
Every step.
Sri Krishna Sankirtanam enables us to taste nectar at every step, right? With every verse. Padam, Padartham, Padam, Ekam, Eka Shlokam, 1 Shlokam, or half Shloka, or 1 Pada, or half Pada, and 1 word also. At all levels there is nectar. Next, last effect. Now the first shloka of Chaitanya Shikshashtakam focused on 7 benefits of entire Sri Krishna Sankirtan, Krishna's Nama Rupa Gundalini. Now the second shloka focuses on specifically Nama Kirtan, only meaning Nama Kirtan. So the second shloka describes 3 qualities of Krishna's name and also discusses different types of Krishna's names. Please recite them. Nam Namakari. Now, let's discuss its meaning. This shloka describes 3 qualities of Krishna's names. Actually, this shloka has 3 parts. First part describes types of Krishna's names. Second part describes qualities of Krishna's names. Third part describes our misfortune in not being able to chant Krishna's names. Clear? This shloka has 3 parts. First part describes types of Krishna's names. Right. Second part describes 3 qualities of Krishna's names. Third part describes our misfortune in not being able to access. Let's go part by part. First, Namna Makari Bahuda. Let's focus only on this one phrase. Namna Makari Bahuda. Nam means name. Bahuda means variety, many. So Namna Makari Bahuda means Krishna has different types of names. Varieties of names, different types of names. All these types of names of Krishna can be categorized into 2. Mukhya Nam and Gauna Nam. Mukhya Nam means primary names or principal names. Second, Gauna Nam means secondary names. Right? Now let's talk about secondary names first. Let's talk both. Primary names or Mukhya Nam represent Krishna's complete personality, complete Swarupa, all his vibhutis, all his opulences, all his qualities. Right? This name completely represents the Lord. But secondary name, they don't completely represent the Lord. They only partially represent the Lord's potencies. Partially represents the Lord's pastimes. They are partially potent. For example, let me give an example of secondary name. Paramatma. Paramatma is a secondary name. Does Paramatma completely represent all the qualities of Bhagavan? All the Veeras of Bhagavan? All the glory of Bhagavan is not completely seen in Paramatma. Paramatma is a replica, an amsha of Krishna, who stays in the hearts of all living entities and monitors and guides the activities of all the living entities. So Paramatma is a small expansion of Krishna. So Paramatma is a name of Krishna, bona fide name of Krishna, but it doesn't completely represent Krishna's full personality, Swarupa. Therefore, it is Gaunanam, secondary name. Clear? Gaunanam. Paramatma, Srishtikarta, Niyanta, Brahma, all these are names of the Lord, but they are secondary. What about primary names? By the way, primary names are again two types. Madhuryanam and Aishwaryanam. Primary names means Mukshanam. There are two categories, 1A, 1B. Madhuryanam and Aishwaryanam. Madhuryanam represents Krishna's sweetness. Aishwaryanam represents Krishna's majesty, opulence and grandeur. Right? Madhuryanam is Krishna's sweetness. Both are fully potent, but they highlight different facets of the Lord. Now you tell me some names of the Lord, some Madhurya names of the Lord. Nanda Nandan, very sweet name. Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna who gives happiness to Nanda Maharaj. Right? That's a sweet name. One more name? Huh? Yashoda, correct. Next. Radha Raman, excellent. Next. Radha Madan Mohan, next. Then these are all Madhurya names. Huh? Gopi Janavallabha, correct.
Govinda.
Kirtan Gopinath, very sweet. Shyam Sundar. Parth Sat again goes into Aishwarya category. Gopinath, Govinda, Krishna, Rama, Hari, Madan Mohan. Yes. Something? Gopal, correct. Next. Keshav has both aspects. But fine. So let's go to Aishwaryanam. Aishwaryanam means Dwarkadhish, definitely Aishwaryanam. Vishnu, correct. Narayan. Venkateshwara, maybe yes. Mukunda, giver of liberation. Jagannath, the Lord of the universe. Huh? Vandanishwar. Not sure. In London, devotees of Londonishwar may be worshipping in Madhurya mode. Right? So we understand that some names of the Lord highlight his sweetness, some names of the Lord highlight his majesty. Both are Mukhyana, both are fully potent, but they have different faces. These two are primary names. By the way, Acharya said that we cannot attain Krishna Prema by chanting Krishna's Gaunanam or secondary names. By chanting Om Paramatma Nama, you will not get Krishna Prema. You may get Paramatma realization probably, but you will not get Krishna Prema. By chanting Niyanta, Srishtikarta, all this, you will not get Krishna Prema. By chanting Krishna, Rama, Madhusudana, Govinda, Trivikrama, that names you will get Krishna's Prema. Now, if you have noticed in your Bhagavatam study, in Bhagavatam, so many devotees offer prayers. Like Kunti Maharani offers prayers. Then Prachetas offer prayers, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and also some Devatas offer prayers. Daksha offers prayers. Right? So many. Gajendra offers prayers. Also, if you read, see the seventh canto, Vidyadharas, Kinnaras, Kinpurushas, Gandharvas, Siddhas, Charanas, Rajarshis, Brahmarshis, Devarshis, they are all offering prayers to the Lord. But some of these devotees, when they offer prayers to the Lord, they highlight Krishna's secondary names more than primary names. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Many times Devatas glorify the Lord as Creator, Maintainer, Destroyer, more than Makansur. That they don't describe him like that. Because they are more attached to the majestic aspect of the Lord, or especially the secondary aspect of the Lord, right? Of maintaining this world and all. Entering this world is not an exciting activity to the Lord. The Lord doesn't feel so much excitement in even orchestrating Kurukshetra war, fighting demons. All this, the Lord is doing it as a matter of duty. There is no excitement. Excitement is there in performing pastimes with Radharani, Yashoda Mata, this Damodar Leela. So these are all very exciting pastimes with the Lord. So those devotees who are more intimate to the Lord, they highlight, they glorify Krishna with the primary names more than secondary names. Those are highlighting the Lord's primary names. They may sometimes take, Madhurya name or Aishwarya name, but they are describing the complete aspect of the Lord. They have a complete understanding of the Lord, right? But some devotees, especially the Devatas, they highlight the Lord's secondary names more. They connect with that aspect of the Lord. But the Lord is happy to reciprocate with any devotee the way the devotee approaches him. Yathamam prapadyante tam sadeva bhajamyaham. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hritsaroja aste srutekshita patho nanunatha pumsam yadyadhyata urugaya vibhavayanti tattvapuh pranayase sadanugrahaya. So yadyadhyata urugaya vibhavayanti. The mode or the mood in which we worship Krishna, worship a specific form of Krishna, the Lord will reciprocate with that form only. So some devotees worship Matsya avatar, some Kurma avatar, some Varaha avatar, some Naranarayana avatar, some Krishna directly, some Sankarshna, some Vasudeva. Like that, if you see the prayers of residents of Jambudvipa, different residents of different Varshas, Varsha means a tract of land in the Jambudvipa. So they are worshipping the Lord's specific forms. They are attached to the forms. Right? So now Hanumanji worships Lord Ramachandra. Prahlad Maharaj worships Narasimha. Narasimha is Madhurya or Aishwarya? Aishwarya. Definitely there is majesty there. Right? So different devotees get attached to different forms. But in short, Nam Akara Bhuta means Krishna has multiple types of names. We discussed it. This later. Now let's get into the second part of the shloka. In the second part of the shloka, we will find three qualities of Krishna's names. First, I will discuss all the three qualities, then we will elaborate. Let's begin from there. Nija sarva shakti tatrarpita. Nija means the Lord's form. Sarva shakti means all his energies. Tatra arpita means the Lord has invested it. What names? Namnama Kalibhoda, Krishna has multiple types of names, and Krishna has invested all his powers in those names. That's what it means. Means holy name of Krishna is all powerful. By the way, Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita refers to which name? Mukhyanam or Gaurana? The Lord has invested all his energies in his primary names, not in secondary names. Therefore, this shloka is describing the qualities of primary names more than secondary names. When you say Krishna, all powers of Krishna are there in Krishna. When you say Govinda, all powers of Krishna are there in Govinda. But when you say Paramatma, all powers of Krishna are not there in Paramatma. You need to understand. So, Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita means the Lord has invested all his powers in his names. Means the holy name is all powerful. That's the first quality. Clear? First quality of Krishna's name, as described in this shloka, is holy name of Krishna is all powerful. Clear? Then second, Nija Sarva Shakti Tattvarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha. Niyama means a regulation, a prescription, a rule, right? Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha. Smarana means to remember, Kala means time. There is no rule in regards to remembering Krishna's name at a particular time. In short, you can remember Krishna's name at any time. You can chant Krishna's name at any time. It is always accessible. Therefore, the second quality of Krishna's name, as described in this shloka, is the holy name of Krishna is accessible. First quality is powerful. Second quality is accessible. You can access it at any time. Third quality, Ekadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan. Kripa means the Lord's mercy. The Lord has not only invested all his powers in the holy name, the Lord also the Lord also shows so much of mercy to someone who just chants his name. He may not have worshipped the Lord, he may not have seen the Lord, he may not have known the Lord so much, but just by chanting the name of the Lord, he can invoke Krishna's mercy. The name of Krishna is also respected. Clear? Three qualities of Krishna's name: powerful, accessible, and merciful. Three qualities. Now let's discuss these three qualities a bit more elaborately. First quality, full names are powerful. Right? Namnabakani Bahuda, Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarhita. Means the Lord has invested all his powers in his name. Means just the name, the Namavatar of the Lord. The Lord has so many avatars, but this Namavatar of the Lord completely represents the Lord. Now you see, even in material circles also, if you just take the name of a powerful person, the name sometimes represents the complete power of that person. For example, some chief minister is going to come here, or prime minister is going to come here, right, to this program today. It is not yet come by. So somebody came and announced, Sundaram Guru announced, coming, CM is coming now. And just by hearing that announcement, all of you become very alert. You just stand up. There's some reverence in your face, right? There's some respect in your face. Or somebody may be picking up garden. He's not yet here. Only his name is spoken here. CM is coming. Just by hearing the name of that person, you feel the presence of that person. You feel the power of that person. You develop some kind of reverence and respect for that name itself, because person is going to come. Say you don't like a person. That's all. You hate somebody. Somebody takes that person's name. As soon as you hear the name of that person, it will change your expression. Right? You may become very disgusted. Uska naam hi mat lena. Don't even take his name. Right? And the person is not here. Just the name represents the person. Name can invoke so many emotions in you. If you love that person, naturally you have some smile on your face. Your heart just beats with so much of affection for that person. If you don't like that person, immediately you become angry, you become agitated. You may become frustrated also. Why is this fellow taking the name? You may clear that place also. Right? So name represents the person even in the material world. What to speak of Krishna? Right? So sometimes when you're calling somebody on phone, they are calling you. If someone whom you love, whom you respect, with whom you have very deep relation, when they call, immediately become alert. They say, if Guru Maharaj calls, right? Just imagine. They are happy right now. Call him. Immediately they say, Maharaj. If some friend calls, you see the name of the person. Again? It will become little casual. The name, you just saw the name on the screen. That's all. That invokes some kind of feelings in you. Name represents the person. Name has the potency. Many times people think, what is name? Hare Krishna people is going to say name, Hare Krishna, they keep jumping up and down and dancing so much. But the name has so much potency. Name in the material world. Cricketers are just playing some cricket in the stadium, and people who are in the stadium they say, we want 4, we want 6, we want 4, we want 6, when they say like that, that sound vibration has some impact on the person. When you speak an encouraging word, people get encouraged. When you speak a discouraging word, people get hurt. Right? So words have a lot of potency. And Krishna appears in the form of a word called Krishna. Krishna appears in the form of a sound called Govinda, Ram, Mukunda, Trikrama, Madhusudana, Keshava, Radharaman. So the name, the sound vibration has so much of potency. As much potency as the Lord himself. The name of Krishna is all powerful. You want a story? Let's discuss some stories. We have discussed so much of stuff. One little story. You see, in the story of Brigari was a cruel hunter. And he was half killing animals, not completely killing animals. He was shooting an arrow in such a way that the animal is not completely dead, but it becomes totally motionless and starts flapping its legs with so much of pain. And seeing the animal struggling with pain, Brigari takes so much of pleasure. Such a cruel hunter. Narada Muni once came, to cut the long story short, Narada Muni came and said, you break your bow. Then Mridari said, if you break my vow, how will I have my livelihood? You want livelihood? Don't worry. We'll arrange. You just break that vow, go home, distribute all your wealth to some brahmanas and some poor people. You come on the bank of the river, make a small hut, plant a tulsi, plant there, and you and your wife, you can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Sufficient. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just do this. You don't have to do anything else. Korean will maintain. Then so this Mridari exactly followed this instruction of the Lord. And knowing that this cruel hunter Mridari has become so transformed, this man who used to use such abusive language to address people is now being very pure and chanting the pure names of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. All the people in that locality became very, very happy, very excited. And every day they would just bring a big plate of flowers or fruits and vegetables and spices and grains and give charity to this Mridari and his wife. And although there are only 2 people in the home, he used to get food of 20, 30 people every day. And he would just distribute once again. So holy name of Krishna has Palana Shakti. What is Palana Shakti? The power of maintenance. And holy name also has the Shakti to create parivartana, transformation in you. Right? The holy name of Krishna, just the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, transformed this person, cruel hunter Mridari. This holy name of Krishna maintained Mridari. Whatever livelihood he needed, he is doing that. You don't have to give up your jobs now and chant Hare Krishna only. Krishna has given you some strength, and Narada has not been giving you that instruction. He's doing the needful. but holy name has that power. And even if you are doing that job in your companies, that is also by the power of Krishna, by the blessing of Krishna. Right? So Krishna wants you to maintain yourself in this way. Unless the spiritual master specifically instructs, give up your job, chant only Hare Krishna, the name will maintain you. If that instruction, if you get, like Mridari got instruction from Narada, you can consider that option. but till then, just do the needful for your maintenance with the God-given abilities. But holy name of Krishna has that maintenance. Palana Shakti has. The holy name of Krishna has all Shaktis. Shakti to transform a cruel hunter into such a great personality. Right? So what other acknowledgement we need? And second, holy name of Krishna is called accessibility. Second quality is accessibility. Now, if you get up in the middle of the night because you have some headache or some jet lag or something like that, you are unable to sleep properly, you can always get up in the middle of the night and pick up a bead bag and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. But you cannot enter the altar and start worshipping deities. Oh, my sleep, bro. What should I do? Should I do? Then perform some arati now. I think I should do Abhishek now. I'm not getting sleep. Therefore, I'm doing Abhishek. It doesn't work like that. Abhishek has a specific time. Right? You need to do that all Shodasopachara puja morning after Mangalarati. It's a prescription. Heavy. Standing 16 rounds. Very potency. And the time So, holy name of Krishna has that potency to transform people. Now, holy name of Krishna is most merciful. Now, we are accessing greatest potency with minimal effort. So, when something is very potential, accessibility is very less. Somebody is very powerful person in this world. He is not so accessible. To get the appointment of a powerful person, you have to wait for days and months and years probably. You'll question why do you need appointment? For you to get an appointment of a powerful person, you should also be very powerful. He's a celebrity. If you are also a celebrity, he'll give you appointment. If you're not a celebrity, I don't have time to meet this guy. So they reject. But here, holy name is most powerful, but most accessible also. Most accessible to anybody, at any time, at any place, in any way. That is the accessibility of Krishna's holy names. Now, poor people also can chant. Very exalted devotees also can chant. चिराददत्तं निजगुप्तवित्तं स्वप्रेम नामामृतमच्युतारः आपामरं यो विततार गौरः कृष्णो जनेभ्यस्तमहं प्रपद्ये आपामरं यो. Holy name is accessible even to the most pamara, most fallen people also. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally giving that holy name, distributing that holy name and increasing its accessibility. He made it even more accessible. And Prabhupada made it even more accessible. And all the representatives of Prabhupada are making even more accessible. So its accessibility is increasing only day by day. Right? Patra patra vicharanam na kurute na swam param vikshate deya deya vimarshako nahi nabha kala pratiksha prabho sadyo yah shravadikshana pranavana dhyanadina durlabham दत्ते भक्तिरसं स एव भगवान् घोरः परं मे गति पात्र विचारणं न कुरुते. Gauranga Mahaprabhu does not do vicharan. He doesn't analyze who is a patra, who is apatra, who is qualified, who is not qualified, who is eligible, who is not eligible. Target eligibility. He came in front of me, take the holy name. He is not coming in front of me, I will go and give him the holy name. The only eligibility is willing to accept. No other eligibility. If you are not willing to accept, then what can we do? But as long as we are eager, the Lord will come and give door delivery. Patra patra vicharanam na kurute na swamparam vikshate. Swampara means generally these big people, celebrities, they give some favors to those people whom they know. These are my people, therefore I will do some special favor. And these are different party. I will not do any favor. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not discriminate who is his and who is others. Who is his party, who is others' party. Naswam param vikshate. Anyone can accept holy name. Deya deya vimarshako nahi nabha kala pratiksha prabho. Should I give or not? He doesn't do that vimarsha. He doesn't do that analysis. Kala pratiksha prabhu. Should I give today or tomorrow? Should I give today, Ekadashi day or Dvadashi day or next Ekadashi or should I give here or there? No such discrimination. No such discrimination. He just indiscriminately distributes the holy name. Makes it fully accessible to anybody and everybody at any place. In the Vedic culture, many of these mantras have restricted access. Only some people are given this mantra in years. The holy name of Krishna is made accessible to everyone in this world. Time, anytime you can chant. Place, any place you can chant. Anybody can chant. Some people say, oh, there's some death in our home. Next 11 days or next 13 days, we cannot do anything. We cannot come to temple. We cannot do upacharas. We cannot do any pious activities. Next 1 year, we cannot do. But although there may be restrictions in doing many other things, you can always chant holy names, even if there is some unfortunate incident that happened at home. In fact, at that time you can chant even more, extra hours. Right? Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvavasthangato va yah smare pundarikaksham savahyabhyantarasuti. Smare pundarikaksham. Niyamitaha smaranena kala. There is no niyama. There are no rules and regulations in doing smarana at particular times. You can chant at any time. You will be purified internally and externally. Sometimes you are sick. You are unable to take a bath. You don't take a bath. You are very, very sick. You are admitted in the hospital next 3 days or 4 days. Can you chant? Of course you can chant. But in the sick period, you cannot worship the deities. You cannot go bhava for the deities. You will not be able to even study Bhagavatam also properly. But you can even lie down and chant Hare Krishna. If you can't even finger your beads and just chant Hare Krishna. You can't even chant. Remember Krishna's name in the mind. Right? There is accessibility of Krishna's name. So you are traveling. I was traveling from Sydney to Dallas. 15 hours flight. Right? I couldn't take bath. Right? I will take bath in flight. I chanted that day's rounds there on. 16 rounds in the flight on. So people next to me are eating all kinds of sections. Right? The Devotees is asking, there's beef, there's chicken, so we like to eat. And the old lady sitting next to me is actually asking for it and I'm eating. What else can you do? So, in these circumstances, you can always chant the Holy Name. And you see, of course, deliberately you should not chant in an unclean place. Right? When you have an opportunity to take a bath, let it take bath and chant. But when you don't have an opportunity, of course, you can chant. I'll go to fish market and chant. Not necessarily. You can chant it anytime. That does not mean you purposely go to filthy places and chant. Chant in a clean place, pure place, so that you can concentrate better. Chant after taking bath. You cannot take bath when you're hospitalized, when you're traveling, that's a different thing. But if you can take bath and if you can wear fresh clothes and you can chant much better. Let me give you 6 keys to improve chanting. You know this? No. Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami says. Do you know this? Correct. Who said that? Yes. He seems to be a scholar. He's speaking of every shloka that we are quoting. Anyways, please repeat after me. Manah samharanam shaucham. Maunam mantrartha chintanam. Avyagratvam anirvedo. Japa sampatti hetavaha. 6 points. You can note down this if you like. First, manaha samharanam. How to chant effectively? First is manaha samharanam. I'll keep it very brief because I need to complete the shloka. Manaha samharanam means whenever your mind is wandering here and there when you're chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Does it happen sometimes? It happens to me all the time. Practically every day. So whenever the mind wanders, try to bring it back. Try to bring it back. Try to bring it back. Right? That is called manaha samharanam. And a sadhaka experiencing tears of ecstasy while chanting the Holy Name is very difficult. Agree? Experiencing tears of ecstasy, goosebumps, heartbreak, sweda, ashra, palaka, kampa. All this will not happen for a sadhaka, struggling sadhaka, generally speaking. You may get some experience once in a while on a festival day when there's some ecstatic kirtan or some very beautiful darshan or some katha going on. Once in a while you may experience it, but we cannot consistently experience ecstatic symptoms at sadhaka stage. Because we need a lot of purification. We cannot get into it constantly. But for a sadhaka, you know what is attentiveness? For a sadhaka, attentiveness means the attempt to bring the mind back whenever it wanders. That is called attentiveness. Whenever the mind goes away, at least make an attempt to bring it back. If you don't even make that attempt, then we are consciously doing distracted. Mind will distracted. Mind will get distracted, no doubt. But at least we should try to bring it back. Try to bring it back. Right? Manaha samharana. That is first key. Second is shaucha. Be clean. We need to be clean internally and externally. Externally, take a bath, wear fresh clothes. That is external cleanliness. Just imagine, without taking bath, without wearing fresh clothes, we chant. That has an effect. It is part of just take a bath and wear fresh clothes. There's no freshness in chanting. So shaucham is important. But another type of shaucham is in the heart, there should be some cleanliness. Therefore, it is recommended that you chant in the morning. Because if you chant in the night, you can chant at any time. But we are trying to increase the quality now. If you chant in the night, whole day you have had so many experiences. Right? When you are chanting, your mind meditates on those experiences consciously and unconsciously. Very difficult to do manaha samharanam. So, when, say, you had some argument or bitter quarrel with another person, a devotee or a colleague at home, in the office. So with all that experience, you are chanting around 6 remaining rounds in the night. What could happen is the heart is not clean, the mind is not pure. The mind is meditating on that argument. I did not take this thought at the time when the document is going on. It becomes like that. Japa becomes like that. But you have a proper sleep of 6-7 hours and then get up in the morning and freshly chant, your mind is little more pure and calm and composed, right? Therefore, you can chant in the morning. You can chant at any time, but at least our prescribed 16 rounds as much as humanly possible. If you chant in the morning, the mind is little calm. So, Manaha Samharanam Shaucham. Third is Maunam. Maunam means silence. You're saying chanting and why should I be silent? How can you silently chant within the mind only? That's not the silence here. Here, silence means don't speak anything that is not favorable to your bhakti. Don't speak anything which is negative or soul degrading or gossip, some mundane subject matters. Don't utilize your tongue to speak any mundane gossip. So even when we are chanting for 2 hours, the remaining 22 hours, how are we using our mind? How are we using our tongue? That matters in our chanting. So if 22 hours, if we are using our tongue in gossiping and doing Vaishnava Ninda and all kinds of mundane materialistic subject matters, we won't be able to chant better. But say, just imagine you have attended some retreat or some workshop or some nice katha or some festival the whole day. Whole day you are in some positive spiritual ambience. The next day chanting becomes better. But if one day you have spent so much time in some agitated arguments, heated up arguments and Vaishnava and this and that, the next day chanting is not that great. Right? So we need to understand that Maunam means using the tongue only to speak something positive and spiritual also helps in chanting. Maunam. 3. Fourth, very, very important, Mantrartha Chintanam. I have learned this from Sachin Maharaj in our golden retreat. Mantrartha Chintanam. Mantra means the mantra that we are chanting. Artha means its meaning. Chintanam means to meditate. So Mantrartha Chintanam means you start meditating on the meaning. How many times when we are chanting the holy names of the Lord, how many times are we aware of its meaning? How many times are we consciously meditating on its meaning? How many times do we mean, oh Radharani, oh Krishna, please engage me in your seva? Do you really mean? And we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. We are doing that. You cannot meditate on the meaning many times. You will not be able to meditate on the meaning for every mantra. At least let us remind ourselves of the meaning once in a day or once in a round or a couple of times in the entire 16 round slot. But meditation on the meaning of the mantra helps. Mantrartha Chintanam. So, Manaha Samharanam, Shaucham, Maunam, Mantrartha Chintanam. Then, Avyagratvam. Vyagratva means being very impatient, restless, right? Avyagratva means don't be restless, don't be impatient in your chanting. Say your darshan opens at 7:30. At 7:15, you have 4 rounds left. You completed 12 rounds, you have 4 more rounds, and your pace is like 5-6 minutes per round. But you want to finish that 4 rounds in the 15 minutes. It's fast paced. I like that you just chant 4 rounds in just 15 minutes. Oh, yeah, 16 rounds. Before that, I completed my 16 rounds. So, again, means don't rush. Don't rush in chanting. Because some devotees chant, by default, they chant fast. They speak also fast. And some speak very slowly around, right? So, whatever is your natural pace, that within that pace you can chant. No, we don't need to rush. Say if you need only 5 minutes to chant around, that's your natural pace. That's fine. Give 5 minutes. Don't squeeze it to 3 minutes. Don't give 3.5 minutes. But if you need 7 minutes, don't squeeze it into 5 minutes. So just go at your natural pace and chant, and no problem. We can chant 1 round after the Darshanarthi also. No problem. Or you can even go a little late for darshan, do something, but don't rush. That's the point. Abhyatra. Last is Anirveda. Nirveda means sadness, disappointment. Anirveda means don't be disappointed. I'm chanting since 14 years, but I'm not getting tears of ecstasy in the chanting. I'm chanting since 15 years. I'm not getting Krishna. But yesterday somebody said in Austin, "Oh, I'm chanting since 2 years. Can you get prema?" I'm chanting since 2 years too. I'm planning to wear Kantimala, but when will I get prema? When will I experience that prema? People who are chanting 20 rounds are also struggling now. You don't expect prema so much. I say, chanting is in your hands. Giving Krishna prema is in Krishna's hands. You do what is in your hand, he will do what is in his hand later. When he thinks that we are ready for it. So, anyways, these are the 6 keys to chant better. So, come back to Shikshashtakam shloka. We got a little sidetracked. But for a good reason. So, Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. I spoke the 6 keys of japa mainly because Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala can be exploited thoroughly by sadhakas. Mahaprabhu said, there are no rules and regulations, no timing in chanting. I can chant in the middle of midnight also. Morning they do many things, and in the evening they start. At 9 p.m. they start their first round. The chant will follow those rounds. There will be quality there. It's not that deliberately you chant at a unclean place or improper time. Better to chant in Mangala, Brahma Muhurta time as much as humanly possible. But if you miss that slot, fine, you can chant anything. Better to chant by wearing fresh clothes and by being very physically clean also. But if you happen to be an unclean place, still you can chant. That's the point. Right? So let me tell you one story. In Jagannath Puri, there's a nice devotee. He's so addicted to chanting. We wish we get that addiction. So we're addicted to smartphones. What to do? So he's so addicted to holy names, and his tongue cannot stop chanting. One day he had to go to toilet. When he's going to toilet, he's feeling that why should I chant here? It's a dirty place. I think I should not continue chanting here. He was holding his tongue between his teeth, and he's going to the area, like the toilet area. Then one little boy, 5-year-old child, saw him and said, "What are you doing? Why are you holding your tongue between your teeth?" He said, "I'm going to toilet and in such a filthy place, in such a dirty place, I don't want to chant the pure name of the Lord." This boy asked, "What if you die now?" Dying without remembering Krishna's name, without chanting Krishna's name? He was a little surprised. Then this boy started explaining, there is no problem. You can chant at any time, at any place. There is no consideration of dirty place or clean place or pure place or impure place. You can always remember the holy name of the Lord at any place. He did it. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know about this boy, preaching that we can chant at any time, Tatrarpitani with Smaranena. Then Mahaprabhu said he's doing the role of a guru. His name is Gopal. He became Gopal Guru. Mahaprabhu named him Gopal Guru. That does not mean we sit in toilet and I completed 2 rounds in toilet. I completed 3 rounds while taking bath. I completed 1 round while brushing teeth. That's not the message here. You can chant while working or while taking bath, but you don't have to take bath while chanting. Right? You have your prescribed number of rounds, chant them aram se in a proper decorum. But while doing other work, you can always chant. So third point. What is the third one? Merciful. Holy name of Krishna is all merciful. Etadrishi Tavakripa Bhagavan. Bhagavan, you have invested all your mercy also in this holy name of Krishna. So there is a beautiful shloka. Please repeat. Attayeva namamatra vaishnavera dharma. Attayeva namamatra vaishnavera dharma. Name prasputita haya rupa guna karma. Atayeva namamatra Vaishnavera dharma. The dharma of a Vaishnava is to just chant the names of Krishna. Name prasphutitahaya means the name of Krishna will manifest the Rupa Guna Karma. Krishna's form is manifested by chanting Krishna's name. Guna, Krishna's qualities are understood by chanting Krishna's name. Karma, Krishna's activities are also understood by chanting Krishna's names. So name, Naam of Krishna will give us entrance into Rupa Guna Leela. You want an example? Story. Let's go to story. Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj is a 5-year-old child. He was instructed by Narada Muni to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He chanted this Nama for 6 months. Right? He only chanted the name of the Lord. He never saw the Lord. But by chanting the name of the Lord, he could see the Rupa of the Lord in his heart. When he opened his eyes, he could see the Rupa of the Lord in front of him. Understood? Naam gave him entrance into Rupa. Guna. So after seeing the Rupa, the beautiful form of Narayana, Vishnu, Hari, Dhruva has thought, I must glorify him. I must offer prayers. But he does not have sufficient vocabulary or knowledge or experience to compose praise and offer to the Lord. What did the Lord do? The Lord took his conscience and touched his forehead, like USB transfer, and that Vedic knowledge about Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela is revealed to Dhruva Maharaj. Now Dhruva Maharaj is offering such beautiful prayers to the Lord. Bhaktim moho pravahatam tvayi me prasango bhuyadananta mahatam amalashayanam yenam jasolvana guru vyasanam bhavadhim neshye bhavat guna katham vrtapanamattah. He's saying neshye bhavat guna katham vrtapanamattah. Bhavat means your, guna means qualities, katha means your pastimes. Amrutapana. Let me drink the nectar of the narrations of your pastimes and qualities and become intoxicated. He's saying. We did hear about his qualities. How did he know Krishna's qualities? How does he know Krishna's pastimes? How did he see Krishna's Rupa? All happened by chanting Krishna's name, isn't it? He just did Nama. He got access to Rupa, Guna, Leela. So much so that he's saying that Bhavat Guna Kathamrata Panamatta, I will get intoxicated by drinking the nectar of your narrations of your pastimes and qualities. Right? So, holy name of Krishna is merciful enough to give us entrance into Rupa Guna Leela. That is the mercy. Just imagine somebody gives you coupon. They give coupon, right? 100 rupee coupon, 10 rupee coupon, 20 rupee coupon. If you take that coupon, you go to some shop and whatever item you like in this entire shop, which is worthy of that 100 rupee coupon, you can take that. Right? That's some people make their system. Just imagine people give you 100 rupee coupon. Right? You go and take any item you want, even if it is worth 200 rupees or 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, it is 100 rupee coupon, you will get it. Who is offered? Very exciting, right? With one little coupon, 100 rupee coupon, you are getting things which are worthy of 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000. Holy name is like that. I am not comparing holy name with a 100 rupee coupon. But in terms of effort that you put to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. This effort is very limited, very small. Anybody can do it. You don't need to be a scholar or a philosopher or a historian or a wealthy person or a beautiful person to chant these names. Anybody can chant. But this one little process of chanting names of Krishna can give us access to Krishna's form, which is very divine. Krishna's philosophy, which is very elaborate. Just imagine studying so much of philosophy and just getting the essence of all that philosophy by chanting Krishna's name, which is easy. To say Krishna, Dhruva Maharaj just said Vasudeva, and he got all the philosophical understanding. And compare this little Dhruva who chanted Krishna's name and understood Krishna conscious philosophy to somebody who's a scholar who's sitting with 100 books and studying to get understanding. Name will give you entrance to all that. How that? That means name is so merciful. The effort that you need to put to chant Krishna's name is very limited, but the blessing that you get is unlimited, right? Therefore, Attayeva Namamatra Vaishnavera Dharma Name Prasputitahaya Rupa Guna Karma. So Krishna's Rupa Guna Karma here refers to Leela. All are revealed to us is to chant Krishna's name. Because Krishna's name is merciful, extremely merciful. Mercy means to give something which we are not qualified for. Mercy means to offer something which we don't deserve. If I deserve something, if somebody gives it to me, there is no mercy. You pay 10 rupees and then they will give you some 1 pen. That's not mercy. If you pay 10 rupees and they will give you a big TV screen like this, that is mercy. Right? So when you just chant Krishna's name, entire philosophy is revealed to you. All passions are revealed to you. Entire ecstasy and Krishna Prema is given to you. By chanting Nama, you get Prema. My God, that's mercy. Nam is so merciful that you can give Prema also. Right? So therefore, Holy Name is having this three qualities. Ajamil pastime, if you see, he chanted Narayana, that too to call his son, that too at the time of death, that too in a state of anxiety, not Prema. But he got, he was saved from entering hell, right? So that's how merciful the names of the Lord are. Najamil chanted Narayana, 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 means he's calling his son. Narayana thought he's calling me. If somebody questions Narayana, he never called you, he called his son. Narayana would say, that son is not Narayana, I am Narayana. Right? Because the Lord has a logic. Abhinnatva nama naminaha. The name and the possessor of the name are not different. Right? So Narayana is the possessor of the name and Ajamil chanted Narayana. So the Lord considers this Narayana name uttered by Ajamil and we are not different. But this name and a boy are different. So the boy will not respond. Although Ajamil is calling that boy his son, he will not respond. Original Lord will respond because the name is same as the Lord. Therefore, Prabhupada writes and purports that parents should give their children some names of the Lord. Narayana, Hari, Govinda, Radharani, then Lalita. So like that, if you give some spiritual names, by just calling the names of their children, parents will become pure. They become closer to the Lord. Okay? That is the mercy of the Lord. Next, last slide. They're getting the third part of the shloka. Duddaiva midrishamiha jani na anuraga. Although the holy name is so powerful, so accessible, and so merciful, my Durdaiva means misfortune. My misfortune is jani na anuraga. I have no anuraga, I have no attraction, I have no taste to chant the holy names of the Lord. Why there is no taste to chant Krishna's names? The answer given in the purports of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other acharyas is because we commit offenses. Because we commit offenses to the holy name, the foremost offense to the holy name is offending Vaishnavas. So because of our offenses, we are not finding the holy name tasty enough. All the holy name is powerful, merciful, and accessible. And the easiest way to attain Krishna Prema is chanting holy names. Still, we are not able to chant because of offenses. How to destroy this misfortune of lack of offense, of lack of taste for Krishna's name? The greatest misfortune is not having wealth or not having name, fame, prestige. The greatest misfortune is not having taste for chanting Krishna's names. How to destroy this misfortune? How to cultivate some taste to chant the names of the Lord always? How to overcome offenses? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answers this question in the third shloka. Trinadapi sudhichena karo rapi sahishnuna amanina manadena etanina sadahari. That we will discuss tomorrow. So to destroy the misfortune of lack of taste in holy name and to overcome offenses to the holy name, all we need to do is cultivate these four qualities. Okay? What are the four qualities? Humility, tolerance, respecting others, and freedom from false prestige, means not expecting any respect from others. These four qualities will destroy the misfortune of lack of taste in holiness. In short, they are called Sunichatva, Sahishnutva, Amanina, and Manada. If you cultivate these four qualities, then we will be able to chant the names of Krishna always. Nirantara. Thank you very much. Sri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Questions come. Recap. Second shloka. Recap. What are the different types of Krishna's names? Mukhya has two parts. What are three qualities of Krishna's name? Why can't we chant the powerful, merciful, and accessible Krishna's name? Okay. Lack of taste. How to destroy that lack of taste and offenses? Yeah. Yes. Any questions or comments?
Prabhu, you mentioned disappointment as one of these 6 things, not being disappointed. But we see the last line, how is that different from disappointment? And can we maybe use disappointment as a way to cultivate this sort of feeling?
See, disappointment. Okay, let's use this word disappointment only. It has two faces. Disappointment can lead to being dysfunctional, or depression. That is not correct. But if the disappointment is in a positive way, it will increase your determination. Disappointment is feeling bad, basically. You are feeling bad that you are unable to chant. So after feeling bad, what should you do? You should cultivate some determination to chant better. But if you feel depressed and become dysfunctional and give up mala, I can't chant. That is not correct, right? So our inability to chant properly should increase our zeal and determination to chant better. We should not depress us. It's not worthy. Then we have not understood the potential of holy name only. Holy name is merciful, right? If you pray to the holy name, oh holy name, please give me some peace, please. Then eventually, and we should have patience. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Yes, I yes, my question is.
So after 7 effects of chanting the holy name, I'm not clear on the difference between the last 3. They seem very similar.
No.
I'm wondering, is there a distinction between them?
Somewhat similar only. Chetota Pramala, Maharagni Nugara, Shreha Kairo Chindrika Vidrana, Anandamudi Vardhana, it expands bliss. Pratipada Purnamrita Swadhan. See, Anandamudi Vardhana is like an overall view. You are happy and it's expanding. Then happiness is expanding, joy is expanding. But Pratipada means going very deep. For example, in the 8 stages of Ashtanga Yoga, first 5 are preliminary games. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. So last 3 are Dhyana. All 3 are Dhyana only. All 3 are meditation only. But they are different levels of meditation. First is Dharana, second is Dhyana, third is Samadhi. So Dharana is preliminary meditation where we meditate on the overall form of the Lord. Dhyana means intensified meditation where you meditate on every single limb of the Lord. First lotus feet, then slowly rise, come to the waist, come to the navel, come to the chest, come to the face, come to the eyes, nose, lips, smile, earrings, helmet, all that. That is Dhyana is intensified meditation. Similarly, here also, Chanandamadadanam, experiencing bliss. Pratipadam Purna Amrita Aswadam, it's more kindness and dense. Right? Sarvatma Samadhi is like trance. Right? But the 8 says Samadhi, right? That is complete trance, complete absorption. Then Sarvatma Samadhi is complete absorption, complete immersion in chanting and absorption. These 3 somewhat similar, but there is some degree of intensity.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, I heard a story of how Rupa Goswami, once he was meditating on the Lord's pastimes and unintentionally he was smiling and unintentionally a Brajavasi was offended. And then Sanatana Goswami said that you invite all the Brajavasis. And he loses his meditation. He wonders what happened, what did he do? So it appears that unintentionally also there's in this material world such a complex life, especially as Gೃಹಸ್ಥas. Personally, I'm drinking so many offenses, knowingly, unknowingly. So if exalted devotees like Rupa Goswami are struggling, what is the hope for me? That is the question that comes to my mind. So what is the suggestion for that?
Yes. We need to see any episode or some episodes from two perspectives. When somebody is very offensive and very reckless and careless in their dealings with other devotees, you can immediately go to Rupa Goswami's example and say, see, even in meditation, unintentionally, he causes some pain to another Vaishnava and his meditation goes. Be careful. Don't criticize devotees. Don't do Vaishnava. So that's the caution there. But from another extreme, if Goswami is like that, what is my hope? And that should give us a caution note and make us more careful in dealing with other devotees rather than feeling disappointed or discouraged. Basically, in Rupa Goswami's case, his meditation worked apparently, but is he really struggling to chant? He says, Tunde tanda viniratim vitanute tundavali labdhaye karana krona kadam vinighatajate karnarbhute bhyaspraham cheta prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam krityam bhojane janitaki krishneti varanadvani. He is desiring hundreds and millions of years to relish the nectar of Krishna's name. Millions of tongues to relish the nectar of Krishna's name while chanting. Right? So he is obsessed with this whole process of chanting. Right? He is on that level. Priyaswarupe, Daitaswarupe, Premaswarupe, Sahajabhirupe. So he is so dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is another replica of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Premaswarupe, Sahajabhirupe. So Rupa Goswami at a different level. At his level, there is absolutely no possibility of committing an offense to anybody, and we don't even have to think that he is struggling to chant the name. But just to demonstrate the effects of offending a Vaishnava, even unintentionally, this pastime is highlighted. But in our dealings, we have to be careful. So that is the point. And as far as offenses are concerned, unintentional offenses, they may have some effect, but will not be penalized so much for unintentional offenses. But intentional offenses are very, very serious repercussions. Right? Stepping on the shadow of a Vaishnava is also an offense. Right? Will you stop doing circumambulating Tulsi Maharani early in the morning where there is some light bulb on the roof and Tulsi Maharani, it's falling on Tulsi Maharani and Tulsi Maharani's shadow is there and so many Vaishnavas are going around, their shadows are there and they are circumambulating. How many Vaishnavas' shadows are we stepping upon? So, when offense is to politically maneuver the situations, to diplomatically exploit another Vaishnava, to deliberately plan and scheme in ways to degrade or defame other Vaishnavas and deliberately causing harm, these are serious offenses. You are dancing and jumping up and down and somehow manage to land on the foot of another Vaishnava. I'm sorry, I didn't need it. That's not an offense. one more thing, as soon as we realize that we have committed an offense, whether of body or mind or words, you can always go and say sorry and then meditate. Just clarify. It's not justifying. So, yeah, we need to be careful. We don't have to get scared so much. That is supposed to give us a caution note to us and not scare us. Right? It's good to be scared also. It will induce some humility. But getting scared or receiving that caution note should not depress us or make us dysfunctional. Does it make sense? Right next.
Hare Krishna. I have two questions. First question is that while chanting, should we meditate upon the God's form or should we meditate on the words as they are written? And second question is in Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what is the meaning of Hare in Shastras?
So, chanting, can we meditate on the form? Meditate is a very big word. Can we see the darshan of the Lord? Can we stand or sit in front of some deity and then chant, or some photograph and chant? Is that imagination? Okay.
Mentally seeing the visualizing.
What is recommended is focus on the sound vibration. But once in a while, intermittently, mentally, remembering some form of the Lord is helping you to chant better. Don't do it, right? Better than mentally imagining or visualizing the form is open the eyes and take the darshan. That's easier. Okay, you can sit in front of the deities, chant the Krishna. Once in a while, you can just see the deity and that's more practical. Let's not get into visualizing or imagining within the mind at this moment. Example devotees can do that. But the first recommendation is focus on the sound. Focus on the sound. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So try to clearly pronounce it and try to hear it. Right? But sitting in front of the ladies and time to time seeing the form of the ladies is inspiring you to focus on the sound. That's wonderful. But we can focus on the name. Second question. Hare means Srimati Radha.
Last question.
Yes, last question.
Thank you so much for such a material class. So very thank you for that. So Prabhuji, I have a question, especially if we finish our 16 rounds and then we have time, right, more time. Some devotees chant 30 rounds, 64 rounds. And since anyway, Nama is given Guna, Rupa, Lila, everything, right? Philosophy of everything, right? What should we do? Should we go and serve or should we go and find non-devotees and preach? What is the issue of this? After 16 rounds, should we, in connection with Bhajna and Bhagavad and what should be our move?
So, if we complete the prescribed or committed number of rounds, say 16 in our case, if you have taste, interest, excitement, nothing wrong in chanting extra rounds. But if there is also a prescribed service, if there's an officially assigned service by the temple authorities or the spiritual master or some senior Vaishnavas who are guiding this, then we should prioritize that service. We should do that service. It's not necessary that we skip an important service which needs our attention and chant some extra rounds. By doing that service in the service facilities, you can always chant internally. There are some gaps you can always chant. If somebody has taste to chant extra rounds, definitely they'll find some time. But that does not mean they compromise on the officially assigned service. But there are some instances where a devotee's enthusiasm to chant some extra rounds could be facilitated. So, entire week you have served, an entire month you have served. 1 or 2 days you want to take some break and just chant some extra rounds and be a little more prayerful or do some extra reading. Once in a while, we can always take some breaks to nourish ourselves with some, by spending more time in Sravanam and Kirtanam than that minimal quota. Proposes 16 rounds is minimum, not maximum, right? So you can always chant more and more, but not at the cost of compromising an officially assigned service to Guru or senior Vaishnavas. You should have a balance. Swamibhukti Kama. You were also mentioning Bhadanandi, Goshanandi. Bhadanandi is not a bad word as such. One who is taking Ananda in Bhajan, that's wonderful, glorious. But Goshanandi means one who is also taking Ananda in not only personal Bhajan, but also trying to inspire others to do Bhajan. Great. So we should have a balance of both. Unless we take Ananda in Bhajan, we cannot inspire others in Bhajan. Right? Therefore, taking Ananda in Bhajan is very, very important, crucial for our own personal sadhana, personal spiritual sustenance before we inspire others. Right? And for that, you need to go deep in our Shravanam Kirtanam, especially the main two basic limbs, hearing Krishna Katha and chanting Krishna's names. So these are the two basic foundational pillars of our spiritual life. We cannot compromise on that minimum. And once in a while, you can always take some extra time out to go deep into these things, right? But service is also important. So we need to serve devotees, we need to share our joys, and that's how we give joy to Krishna. Does it make sense? Hare Krishna.